Welcome back, current subscribers. Newcomers, go ahead and push that red subscribe button. Okay, as you can see, we're going to cook something, and it's going to be stir-fried egg rolls. Okay, as you can see, we're going to use some of these green red peppers and onions. We've got asparagus stir-fried vegetables, the vegan egg roll wraps. We've got some green chilies, mushrooms, Beyond Beef crumbles, purple cabbage, green peppers, got 2 serrano peppers, some onions and some spring onions, a little bit of celery. And we got coleslaw mix and some shredded carrots, some spinach. And here we go with ground ginger, smoked paprika, garlic powder, ground black pepper, and some white pepper. And we're just going to go ahead and get all our vegetables and things separated out so we can start putting these egg rolls together. Okay, we're starting out by cutting up our spinach. Yeah. And I just found the spinach in there and tossed it in. So if you have any other things in your refrigerator, you know, vegetables or anything, feel free to go ahead and cut those up and toss those in the mix too. Small. And it seems like for the egg rolls, the smaller the better, because the more variety of things that you can get in your mix. So we're going to go ahead and stick this in a bowl and get to cutting the next ingredient. Okay, got that spinach in a bowl. Go ahead and take all of our onions, our different onions that we're going to cut up. Maybe I should have rinsed my knife off, but it's all going in the same place, so it's not going to really matter. Okay. Take these spring onions, line these up, and we'll just I tend to like these spring onions better. I mean, it's like I don't know, maybe a milder taste, but I throw the other onions in too, so it's all in the mix. It's all good. Get these in a bowl and get our next ingredient on the chopping block. Okay, we finished cutting up our green pepper, celery, and then we've got the frozen mix, and we're just going to put that in the same bowl and let that thaw out, and those ingredients will be ready. Now this asparagus stir fry, we're going to take this out the bag. I want to pour at least half of this out. And the vegetables that come out of there, we just want to cut those up smaller. Make those pieces a little bit smaller, and we're going to add those for some more variety in these. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to add the Beyond crumbles to the one, but I'm going to make some without the crumbles that are just totally your regular vegetables, okay? And this just makes for more variety of the different type of vegetables in it, since it's a stir-fry egg roll. We want some of those popular vegetables that we put in our stir-fry into the egg rolls. Well, as you can see, we've cut up all our different ingredients that we're going to use to put in these stir-fry egg rolls. We've got our plant-based meat thawing out, and there's the mushrooms already cut up. Our green chilies are ready to go, and we've cut up some serrano peppers. So we're getting ready to go ahead and brown this meat and get our mixture going. All right, we've got our pan on with our plant-based butter in there melting down, and we're going to start adding things to this pan so we can get our mixture together. First of all, we're going to go ahead and add that plant-based meat. Go. Simmer that meat for a minute. We'll be back to start adding the different vegetables. Alright. Now this is how you want your meat to start looking when you put a nice burn on it. Look at that. Oh, that's just lovely. Yeah. We're going to start tossing some of our vegetables in there. Get some onions going in there. Look at that, that's just beautiful. I wish you could smell the aroma. It's really, oh, it's magnificent. Just gonna move around the little tray and start adding some of the other things to it. Going around that tray. Now add them slowly, because you don't really want a water content to this, because it's going inside of the egg roll wraps, okay? So we're going to keep the moisture down as much as possible. So keep that heat up high and keep stirring it. Go around the tray and put a little bit more in here. This is some of our stir fry mix, just a little, because that's still kind of frozen, and that's going to add a little water. So wait until the water from that is out before you add your next ingredient, okay? Because we do not want this to get soupy. It has to stay as dry as possible, okay? Well, start to throw some spinach in there. Okay. Yeah. That's looking really good. Be mindful putting that top on there also is going to collect up some water. So be careful about that. Here comes some carrots. Okay. A little bit more stir fry. So we got the water off of the last. Get some more peppers going in here. Keep it going. And you're going to slowly continue to add all your ingredients until you don't have any more, or until you decide that's enough, because it is determined by how many egg roll wraps you got too. We've got 40 wraps, so we've got plenty of wraps for whatever we can put in this pan. Okay. I'm going to continue to add these vegetables, and once I'm almost to the brink of not having any more, I'll come back so we can continue the process. Alrighty. Okay. We added all the ingredients except our 2 different cabbages and our mushrooms, because they're going to bring the most water to this. Okay. Now we've got all the water out from the frozen vegetables that we've used. We're getting close to being ready to add those last ingredients. At this point, I'm going to add a little bit of the serrano peppers. Not too much. Maybe I'll say equivalent to 1 of those, since we have so many ingredients. And then we're going to add just a little bit of the chilies. But be mindful, these have a little water to them too. So same way. So you're just going to add maybe a tablespoon or 2 of this, depending on how hot you like it. Chilies are not going to take it up as high on the heat as the serrano peppers will. But be mindful of who's eating your cooking and if they can tolerate to what level. Because for me, I could have put it all in there and it would have been just fine. But I backed off a little bit because I have some other people that are going to be eating that might not be able to tolerate that level of hot. So just be mindful of that when you're doing that. Okay, this is nice and tender and done. And I am going to let it sit for a few more minutes, and then we're going to start adding our other ingredients. Okay, let's start adding those water ingredients. We're going to do the mushrooms first. And I just went on and put all those in. Those do a lot of water, so let's put those in by themselves. Okay. And let them get a nice little burn on them before we add the cabbages. Okay. Just keep stirring this. All that steam you see coming up, that's that water evaporating. So that's a good thing. Because like I said, we want to keep this as dry as possible. Okay, just keep right on stirring it. Have patience. Keep stirring. Yeah. That's just beautiful. Look at that. Okay. Too, at this point, while you're waiting on that water to cook out, we can start getting some of our seasonings. Okay, with your garlic powder, you can either use... The minced is normally a little too strong. We want a little bit of garlic. We don't want it to overtake it. So maybe a half a teaspoon or so. You know me, everything is to flavor. So just, start getting used to looking at it and knowing what you need without having to actually have a measurement. Okay? That's just a little bit of ginger. Or white pepper. And just a little bit of ginger. I don't know, when I'm cooking anything that's on the Chinese level, I feel like I need to have some ginger in there. It's not going to be quite Chinese if it doesn't have some ginger to it for me. Okay. I think we might be out of black pepper. I have to get another thing. Yeah, there you go. We're keeping it dry. There you go. Keeping it dry, not burning it. Keeping it dry, not burning it. Just stay focused and stay on it. Yeah, that water's coming up out of there. This mixture's turning out really, really nice. Take a peek at my cabinet on how to find me some more ground black pepper. Look around, I can find some, I'm sure. Okay. Now at this point, yeah, beautiful. We're going to start adding our cabbage. Let's come on, bring that cabbage on. We've got the purple cabbage, and we've got the regular cabbage. More regular cabbage than the other, but I guess it really doesn't matter. Just don't waste anything. That's the best rules, not to waste anything. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and put the rest of that in there. And those are all of our ingredients are in there now. We're just going to keep right on stirring this up. And like I said, letting that water get out of there so that our ingredients will be easily added to our egg roll wraps. Okay, look at that. That's just beautiful. That smells awesome. Now at this point, you want to pull a little out, put on your hand, and you want to try this. Okay. There's a little bit of heat to that. Not too overpowering. Okay. At this point is when you want to add all your seasonings. Now I normally get one of these packets here. You can get the stir fry pack, fried rice pack, whatever. Seems to have all the rice seasonings in it, and it's not a lot of sodium to it. Be mindful of that when you're cooking this, because you don't want to take your sodium level up to where somebody is not going to be able to enjoy it because it's too salty. You can always add salt later. Well, not necessarily salt. Be mindful, you're going to probably dip this in a sweet and sour sauce or some type of sauce. And that sauce is where you can get your salt if you feel like you need some from it. Okay, at this point, I'm also going to take some of this tamari. A lot of people talk about the tamari. All this is brewed soy sauce. And we're going to take a little bit of that and put that on there. Might even want to put some of that on there after your egg rolls are done. And then once we add that, that's pretty much it for our seasonings to this. Because it's tasting really good. I think we're going to be just fine. And then after you let this sit for a minute, like I said, getting that water out of it, we're going to take a little taste of this again and see where we're at. That's hot. Oh! Oh, yes. Oh, that was just what it needed. I mean, just what it needed. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn that fire off. Be mindful, if you're cooking with electric stove, it's still cooking. So you keep moving that around because we do not want this to burn. Okay. At this point, everything is lovely. We're going to put that top on and move it away from that fire. And we're going to get ready to put those this ingredients in the egg roll wraps as soon as this cools down. All right, the mixture is done and cooled down enough for us to get started. Here's the wraps. Got some in the middle. We're going to start rolling these up. Okay. What you're going to be doing, have a bowl of water next to you. You're going to put water on top of here and on that side. And when it folds over, it touches the water. Yeah, and the wet touches the dry. And you're going to do this. And then we're just going to roll it up. See that? And that'll stick. And then we'll be putting that in the pan. Okay. Get you out another wrap. And take a big scoop of the ingredients, put them in the middle. And then once you put that in the middle, make sure it's same thickness on both sides. You're going to take that water, go around your edge, water on your fingertips. Okay. Fold that up. Make sure this is wet. That wet is touching that. The wet is touching that. See that? And then you're just going to start rolling it. Roll it onto that wet side. And that'll stick. See there? Then ready to put that on the pan. We're just going to continue doing this till we get all of these done. I'm going to show it to you one more time. Here's your wet. Now what you can do is you can wet this when you first put this down. That might make it easier. Just wet all this when you first put it down. Then put your scoop of your ingredients in the middle. Okay. You'll fold that up. Fold the one side over. See there? As long as it's wet, when it lays down, it adheres to it. We'll tuck that in. We're going to start rolling this. Look at that. And just roll it. And see that? That sticks. And we're putting this in our pan. You can see we just rolled them and put them on the pan. But what I'm going to do is after I sit all these on here, I'm going to lift them up and put some parchment paper on them before we put those in the oven. And you're just going to have those in there for 20 to 25 minutes, all right? All right. And look at that. Oh, that is lovely. Look at those. Those are lovely. All right. Gonna get us something out so we can taste one of these bad boys. Just beautiful. Okay. Get something to cut this with. Okay. So we can cut this. I guess that's not the right thing to cut it with. Just go ahead and tear that off. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is just beautiful. Look at that. Let's get a taste of this. Oh, that's lovely. Go ahead and try these out. Let me know how yours turned out and what different things you used inside of them. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.